Hey, what's up, team? Happy Thursday. I hope everybody enjoyed the little food drink labeling tidbit I threw out a little bit earlier today. Today, we're going to go over a little bit of portion control, a little bit of why it's important, and some little bit of science to explain how everything kind of breaks down. Keep in mind the basics, the things that we've already gone over, what food does for us from an energy base. So this is where portion control becomes important. It's a basic energy in, energy out. It's as simple as that. If you put too much energy in your system, like proteins, lipids, and carbs, and their jobs and what they're supposed to do, then the body's just going to store it. It needs to burn what you put in. So this innately becomes the importance of, if I overeat and I just sit around and I don't do anything for a couple days, then my body's just going to store that. It's still going to take the nutrients in. It's still going to excrete it out the same way it always does, but it's just going to hold on to it a lot more. So hence the importance of exercise and being active, right? And we're going to go over some of that a little bit here today too. So bear with me as I'm going over Lauren's notes. So I might jump around a little bit. But portion control as a review, a lot of the handouts are good for that. If anybody needs any more handouts, just holler. It's easier for me to email them. If you need me to email them, you can message me privately or within the group. Doesn't matter to me. And everybody, I believe, has my number, so please contact me there if you'd rather just message me on the phone or email. Okay, so some portion control hacks. I believe everybody got a handout about the hand, right? So essentially, proteins, carbs, and lipids can all be broken down if you're out to eat, and you're kind of stuck in a position where like you're not sure how much to eat off of your plate. Most restaurants kind of overfeed us. So what you can always remember is that like the fist for protein, the thumb for fat, and the cup of the hand for carbohydrates. That's an easy way to go about it. Everybody's hands are like different sizes, but traditionally this is the realm we can work in that keep us safe. And then again, if you're a little bit hungry after eating slow and you're still out to eat and you want to eat a little bit more, there's probably still some on your plate. You need them. If not, take it home. You got lunch for the next day. It's the brilliance of like taking food home with you. And it also kind of leaves a little bit of room for dessert if you want to splurge a little bit. Another little hack that you can do with portion control is use your plate and separate things. If you cut a plate in half of that should be like vegetables, greens, something along those lines. And then you can have your other two portions there where you have proteins and then maybe some carbohydrates or fats. Just kind of depends on how you break it down. But if you think big leafy vegetables should take up half of your plate, broccoli rabe, kale, salad, anything like that, and then proteins and carbohydrates within that range, right? That's a nice little hack. You can also make your plates smaller if you're cooking at home. Use a small plate and measure it out from there, and you'll kind of see how like it kind of tricks the eyes into thinking like, wow, there's a lot of food there, instead of filling up a bigger plate. Fill up a smaller plate, and you'll start to see like how things might look a little bit more fuller on a plate, and it might just essentially trick your system. It's a nice little hack that some of us that have done counseling have worked with before. That sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but give it a try. Flip this over. Let me see. From a snack perspective, she went over this the other day, and I thought it was a good point. 200 to 400 calories a day if you're using your app and you're tracking it, and you'll start to see kind of like where you're getting your extra calories in. 200 to 400 calories a day for snacking. This leaves some room between 3 meals of breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but it also kind of like if you keep your snacking from in a fruit and veg kind of way, it also keeps things pretty lean. So you can have more of them if you choose to, because they're so nutrient dense and less caloric dense. You can have more fruit throughout the day if you want. You can have more vegetables throughout the day. I usually have a rule of thumb that if you're going to work out, you can have more fruit, right? It's easily accessible energy. It's straight sugar into your bloodstream. If you're not going to work out that day, maybe you lean a little bit more towards like vegetables for your snacking and things like this. Just kind of cool hacks to keep in mind, right? And always eat slower, right? Drink a little bit more water. These are things that will help kind of like bulk things up and absorb in your stomach and GI tract. Fat loss and metabolism. These are two sides of the same coin, if you can think of that. Fat loss and your metabolism. Two sides of the same coin. I always like to tell my athletes and my weight loss clients that you can't outrun a bad diet, right? You just can't, right? No matter what working out, if you still eat like crap, it just doesn't work. You also can't eat your way to muscle mass. You can't eat your way to 250 pounds of just lean rock. It just doesn't work. So like there's a balance between fat loss and metabolism. Basically, there's a balance between fat loss and working out. You have to have both sides. You have to train both sides of the coin. So no matter how good your diet is, if you don't train, then your body isn't going to metabolize food right? If you train all the time, 6 days a week, and like this very controlled environment that we have here at the Den, and I know exactly what you're doing, but you're just eating like crap all the time, you're not going to see any results there too. So please, just keep that in mind. It is two sides of the same coin. You gotta have both. Basically, to elaborate that a little bit more, weight loss is water, fat, and muscle. If you think about these three things, weight loss equals the combination of water plus fat plus muscle. Anyone can lose weight, right? Any of us, I think, can lose weight in a short amount of time. All you got to do is find a caloric deficit. Basically, eat less calories than your energy is expending, right? You end up in a deficit. You're going to lose a little bit of weight. You're going to lose a little bit of body fat percentage. Maybe everybody's a little bit different here, but it's going to happen. At the end of the day, what you want to live in is a caloric deficit, but also maintaining and gaining muscle mass. This is a big key of this entire program, because this is that BMR that we were talking about like throughout the previous weeks, where the more lean muscle mass you have, the more your body will burn calories at rest. I'm burning more calories at rest right now filming this video than some people will sitting out there reading a book, right? Because I have more lean muscle mass that sits on my body. And I'm not a big guy, but I'm a strong guy. I burn more calories at rest. That's essentially what that is. So keep these things in mind. There's a balance. Both sides of the same coin. You have to find some lean muscle mass. Otherwise, like you see what happens when people like go and fast and then they lose all this weight and body fat percentage, but then they gain back double fold, right? They gain not only the 10 pounds that they lost fasting, but then they gain another 5, 10, 15 more, right? It's because there's not enough lean muscle mass there to continue to burn it after they've done it. They didn't gain any muscle. So the body's just going to be like, you starved me and now you're eating again. So I'm just going to store this because like, I don't know when you're going to feed me. I don't know when you're going to do that again. That's essentially what that is. Okay. If there's any questions, please like reach out in the group. I think it's a fascinating conversation, so I love talking about this stuff. Energy systems, aerobic and anaerobic. Please remember that these both need to be trained. Your aerobic tank is your base system. So if you think of like a triangle, that's kind of cool. Your triangle is this base bottom part. That is your aerobic base. If you have an aerobic base, then you can build off that. But it's kind of like when you go on vacation and you come back after, like, let's say working out here, because I know what's going on here. Let's say like you work out here for a year, you're consistent in all these other things, and you leave for 2 months to go to like Greece or something, right? Happens all the time. We have plenty of members that do this. And they come back and they're like, man, the strength is kind of there, but like their aerobic tank is just cash, because your aerobic tank can go pretty quick, but you need to have it. It's your base, right? This is why we hammer home strength, right? Not only does it burn more calories at rest while you're away for vacation, you know, eating awesome food and hopefully like being active and being awesome and relaxing,